The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
Let's ride.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Players Lounge on Friday, baby. Let's ride. Going into the weekend as the Cowboys, Bengals, AT&T Stadium. Yes.
AT&T,
TV coverage will be Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson.
Okay.
105.3 The Fan. You can listen to the game. We're on Brad Shad, Babe Loffenberg, Christy Scales. Then over on the Spanish broadcast, we got Victor Villalba and my boy, Luis Perez. Love me some Luis Perez, man. That's my guy.
Like Luis,
Carlos Nava doing the sidelines at Compass Radio's got Kevin Ray and number 11 in your hearts. The first number 11 that I remember. Danny White.
Danny White.
Grew up on Danny White, man. Like me some Danny White.
You grew up on Danny White?
Yeah, man.
I grew up on Danny White, too.
What years did he play at?
Danny took over for Roger Staubach.
Okay.
So 1980 was Danny's first year starting.
That's way before your boy was out there.
That's right.
It's all Gucci, man. I still mess with Danny.
Yes. So
Still got him.
Tell him about the Danny White controversy.
What was the cow? There was some tea that needs to be spilled. What's going on?
Well, I used to love how, first off, Coach Tom Landry could never pronounce Hogaboom's name, Gary Hogaboom. He called him Hogan Bloom. But that little run for a minute between Danny White and Gary Hogaboom as the quarterbacks. Danny took the Cowboys to the NFC Championship game in 1980. They ended up losing decisively. I mean, Philadelphia was just a better team that year. Then the next year is when they played the NFC Championship game in San Francisco, and they had, in my opinion, the better team, but lost to the 49ers. That was the catch game.
Catch. Young Clark was out there.
Where Everson Walls had a heck of a great game.
Yeah.
But
you remember that?
With the throwaway, the ball Joe was trying to throw away, that Dwight Clark just so
Boy climbed the ladder
from the heavens. Go to the next year.
I cried.
Man.
I had to go to school. I didn't want to go to school, man. I didn't want to go to school.
Yeah, not after that one.
No,
man.
not after that one.
Were they rocking the starter jackets back then too?
No.
That was when I was around. That's when I came around. Okay, all right.
This was
after
LL Cool.
There was no pro shop.
It was J.C. Penney's where I got all my cowboy gear, bro. It was a J.C. Penney. It was down in Georgia. It was a J.C. Penney. They sold three jerseys.
Pittsburgh 49ers and Cowboys.
No, it was in Georgia, so they sold.
And Atlanta, okay.
It was Atlanta. That was it. Number three. It was you got the Falcons. Get the Falcons Steve Bartkowski jersey. You could get the Tony Dorsett or the Roger Staubach, and then you could get the Terry Bradshaw Steelers. That was it. That was your choices, baby.
Man.
That was it. So yeah, man, you're in a whole different world. But no, so they lose that game next year, 1983. Gary Hogaboom and Danny White start splitting reps, and then it looked like it was going to be Hogaboom's job. Then here came Danny at the end, and it was basically Coach Landry going back to the days when he had Craig Morton and Roger Staubach and flip-flopping guys, Eddie LeBaron and Don Meredith. I mean, as great a coach as he was, he would waver on the quarterback.
I wonder why. Like, I'll just be decisive.
What do you remember
crazy
about that time, the heck?
I just remember, man, it was so crazy because you go to the NFC Championships back-to-back years like that, and you think you're just waiting on Danny White to have that come-out moment where, I mean, you go through a whole season, get to the NFC Championship, and lose, man. It was so disappointing, especially coming off of those years in the 70s where Pittsburgh was just awesome, you know, and they was kicking.
Team of the 70s, and beat the Cowboys Super Bowl 13. So much was lost that day.
Yeah,
so
it
much.
was hard.
I will tell you, if you're being Cowboy fans, that Heck and I are, we watch the game, and two things stick out from that. Number one, and I talked to the great, legendary, greatest Pittsburgh team of all time, Joe Green. He said they stopped running the ball. Tony Dorsett will tell you, we stopped running the ball. And here's Joe Green saying, yeah, we couldn't stop that little inside trap run there. We could stop it. Tom Landry outthought himself. Yep. Pittsburgh ends up winning the game, and the big issue was if the Cowboys win it, they're the first NFL team to win 3 Super Bowls. They also win back-to-back Super Bowls in the 70s. They split with the Steelers 1-1. That didn't happen. The Steelers win it. And then the next year they win it again. So not only did they were the first team to win 3, Then they ended up winning 4. One in the 70s, win 2 back-to-back. Cowboys victims twice.
That's so crazy.
So when you think about Drew Pearson, Cliff Harris, Rayfield Wright, I always say a lot of gold jackets were lost that day. Some have been recovered because you look at the Steelers, man. I mean, great play, great team. But all those guys, they just ushered them on in there, baby.
Glenn
Just run
Swan and them boys.
Yes.
Stallworth was on there?
Stallworth was on there. Tony Dungy was on the Super Bowl 13 team.
I thought people never gave Harris the respect he deserved. He was cold-blooded. No, Cliff Harris.
Cliff
He
Harris.
was cold-blooded. Captain Crash.
First
Nah,
team.
he was cold-blooded, boy.
Talk about first
He
team
called safety, right?
all decade.
What?
Played 5 Super Bowls, man. But heck, that's what I always tell people. There's a lot you lose when you lose a Super Bowl. There's a lot, or any championship if you think about it. You lose any. I remember when the Dallas Mavericks lost it in 2006. They had beaten Miami twice during the regular season, won the first 2 games. It's game 3. They're up 13 points with 6 minutes to go. And, bro, I tell you what, man, this is the curse of the media, man. We sat up there. Man, hope they don't sweep it, man. We want to stay in Miami a little bit longer.
You want to stay in?
Right. We don't have to go home. You know, try to hang
He said he wanted to stay in the yayo, huh?
Yes, he did.
I mean, at least let's give him. Can we get 5 games in? You know,
Yeah.
we don't want to be 4. And man, they didn't win another game,
You got plenty of time at the Fountain Blue then, right?
bro. He didn't want to go. He was bummed as him. Like, oh man, they lost. How they lose that game? It was bad, bro. It was bad. But then you just see, having lost that, you know, how much hell Dirk Nowitzki went through. Okay, went through hell on that. And just Avery Johnson doesn't get his championship. I mean, lives are changed if you win.
Yeah.
When Josh Hamilton hits the 2-run homer in extra innings for the Rangers in St. Louis, you're thinking, okay, we thought they blew the World Series. They're about to win it. Yeah. Josh is going to go down in this legendary figure, hitting a 2-run homer in extra innings. They don't win. Then they lose Game 7. Josh ends up signing a couple years with the Angels. Ron Washington ends up leaving the team. Things are different when you win, man. And when you lose, a lot of stuff gets lost.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff gets lost. Anyway, that's a long way of trying to get us back in here to.
That's all right, man. You took me.
I
Hey,
like
man,
the
back
history
down,
lesson, man.
Back
No
down
doubt.
memory lane. I was sick, man. It seemed like after all those years with Gary Hogaboom, then the Steve Pallure era
Number 16.
started. Oh man, Ooh.
Paul Palmer and handing off to Paul Palmer.
Oh man, it was. Oh my God, those.
It was rough, bro. It was rough.
It's a brutal. That was brutal.
Brutal
So-
years, huh?
God.
Oof.
First time I ever met Dennis Thurman, I was covering USC, and I just like, hey man, I know you, man. I know you playing on those great Cowboy teams. I said, man, boy, that NFC Championship game. I said, man, I cried. And Dennis looked at me because he'll just kind of stare at you. He says, you cried.
You cried. You cried.
My bad, I forgot. You actually played. But that is for me as a Cowboy fan, there will be no lower moment than that. Even Super Bowl, Jackie Smith dropping the pass in the Super Bowl, that hurt.
Yeah.
But that game, they were going to win it all.
Yeah.
They'd have tore up the Bengals. That was okay for, it's like, all right, man, despite everything that happened in the Super Bowl, they're back, going to be back.
Yeah.
Tough, man. Tough. But, along came Jimmy Johnson, and they ended up, going on to set a new foundation for the Cowboys. So this Cowboys team has got a tough task ahead of them on Sunday as they face Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a 7.5-point favorite in this game. Gentlemen, for me, my big concern going into this on the Players Lounge presented by Tostitos is Ron Kearse not being there. They spent so much time in camp telling you how important he was. And it's going to take a collective effort from the safety position. Barry Church, you play safety in this league. How do you account for a guy who basically did 3 jobs in one, according to Dan Quinn? Played safety, played linebacker, played nickel. How do you do this against this team?
You're right. It's not going to take just one individual. Like everybody's saying, all right, this is Donovan Wilson's chance to step in there and kind of rehash that. He was a fan favorite back in the day. This is his chance. But it's going to take more than just him. Because like you said, Kearse played 3 roles: safety, linebacker, and nickel as well. And not only that, he was the quarterback of the defense. When you got that green dot on your helmet, it's your responsibility to relay the call to the rest of the defense in the huddle, make sure that secondary is lined up, D-line is where they're supposed to be, and linebackers are where they're supposed to be. That's a lot to put on the plate of a young man in Donovan Wilson. So to me, I think it's going to be a collection of people. It'll be Donovan Wilson, if Israel Mukuamu can come in there, he's versatile. He can play some nickel, some dime. And then you got the young safety, Marquise Bell, who can come in there and kind of play that dime linebacker role as well. So I don't think they should just put it on Wilson and saying, okay, now you got to learn dime linebacker, you got to learn nickel. I don't think they should do that. I think they should maybe give Wilson his role that he's normally in, where he was in that 3 safety package, kind of introduce Bell into that linebacker role, because that's kind of what he is. He's a bigger body safety. He can be in that box, in that realm, and understand that. And then Mukuamu, who's already played nickel in the preseason, he can come in and be in that dime role as well. So I think it'll be the combination of all 3 of those guys to pretty much fill the void that Kearse has left. But it's going to be hard because that guy was a mainstay on the defense.
I think we've spent all week diagnosing what our problems are and talking about where our shortcomings are. And I think for Cincinnati, they know that their shortcomings are their compromised offensive line. They have problems up front, and they gave up 7 sacks and a ton of pressure. And I think the way that you nullify this offense is by putting pressure on Joe Burrow. And that way they have to not use that tight end out in coverage. You talked about Hunter Henry.
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst. You talked about him and his ability to stretch and take up the middle of the field. But if you have to keep him in, because you're generating that pressure and you're worried about that, and Joe Burrow is also having to account for the pressure that's coming at him. I think that alleviates some of that pressure that you would be thinking about with Jaron Kearse, because he's so dynamic, because you don't have to take him off the field in passing situations because his ability to cover deep third, flat, stuff like that, where you expect for your tight ends to go. So that's where I think how you nullify that, but I think you have to use your other guys by committee with Mukuamu, but let's not just jump out the cake and say, hey, we just running with Mukuamu. It's just those instances, because Marquise Bell is the bigger of the 2 and more sturdy and definitely a more physical. I would like to see him in the box when those situations present themselves, because you know what Mixon is also going to bring to the table.
And we got to get pressure on Joey B. But what makes me nervous is, last week, if we really look at it, we was going against a beat-up Tampa Bay offensive line, right?
Right.
We're going to say that offensive line was not good at all.
Yes.
Outside of Parsons, who was getting pressure?
We didn't, but then it's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady, and I think Tom Brady does not take sacks. He gets rid of the ball quickly, and I think we all are surprised that Tom Brady took 2 sacks in that game in the red zone. I know I was.
Especially in the red zone.
In the red zone, that's just something he didn't do. He's going to get rid of the ball. But I think in contrast to Tom Brady, Joe Burrow holds on to the ball too long. And so that may be the nail in his coffin in this game.
The Bengals are going to bring La'el Collins.
My man. My man, LC.
And LC is their right tackle, played here last year. What is it like to play your former team, especially when...
Don't ask me this one.
When the divorce, it was a divorce. It wasn't just a thing, this was a divorce that Jerry made personal.
Ooh.
He made that personal during training camp.
Yeah, La'el's going to come in here with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, you already heard when, he was having his little, players, media was at the locker rooms the other day. He was talking about how it feels great to be finally coached at the position.
Heard that, man.
Yeah, so he's going to come in here.
Fired.
He's going to come in here with a little bit of chip on his shoulder, but I would tell him this, man. Don't go in there. Come in there talking too crazy, because I had to come back here when I was with Jacksonville, and it wasn't pretty. All right, they beat the brakes off us, and I was humbled as well. So I can understand him coming with the chip on the shoulder, but just make sure your play accounts for what you're talking about as well. But he's definitely throwing some shots at this coaching staff already. So we'll see what he does when he comes into AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I definitely was a La'el Collins fan. I didn't like the way his play declined before he left, and I'm not going to pile on him.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that he didn't have a lot of good tape out there before he left. And based off of what I saw in that Pittsburgh game, people could say T.J. Watt, whatever. I just think that the Pittsburgh Steelers presented a big problem to him. And I don't think he can come in here, overhyped. He has to play assignment sound as well, or this could be a long day for him.
I look at La'el Collins, who personally loved.
Yeah, he's a good dude overall.
I liked LC a lot, man. I did. LC did the one thing that you don't want to do, not just as a professional football player, but any of us who have a job. You don't want to give them any reason to say, we can do this without you.
Don't make it their idea.
Right.
He put himself in that situation.
Right.
I got you.
You know, he put himself in that situation. And then they start. Well, is he in shape? Is he this? I mean, all these things started to come up to the point where they decided, you know what, we're going to move on. And it's been rare for Jerry to move on from a player he likes, but somewhere along the way, especially listening to him in that press conference, the switch flipped. I don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes on a personal, but Jerry got very personal with Lyle and Amari Cooper, and that's rarely to see him come out like that. So I hope this for Lyle, that along the way, and I don't know if it's this offseason, whatever, but I hope he can have a conversation with Jerry Jones and that they can get right. Because remember when he wanted him as a free agent, because Lyle had that issue with
Coming out of college,
out of college, and a former girlfriend had ended up getting had died. He was not a suspect, but still people were just like, oh, they asked about his name. But they had that big old dinner at Jerry's house, and they invite everybody but Ron Leary.
Which was so shady, man.
Right, everybody but Ron Leary to recruit Lyle and his mom.
Mad.
And Lyle's, he told me before, he's like, man, I'm living here. He's like, I don't ever want to, I want to live around. So I hope he can get that situation right, because you as a former Cowboy, heck, we've seen so many guys, even like Jesse Holley, who live here, who've made it home, and I hope he can still find a way to be connected with the Jones and that. So that's just a personal thing. Yeah. That's just a personal thing, because it didn't end well, man.
Nah, it didn't.
It didn't end well.
And like you said, he put himself in that situation, and we know what happened on the field. Terrence Steele came and he played pretty well in that 5-game stretch that Lyle missed. So. He has nobody to blame but himself, but, he moved on to, greater pastures.
It's just like with Terrence Steele, I think the questions after Leal, you have to ask yourself, like, man, you replaced him with that? And a guy that you see having those struggles, and no matter how they try and pump it up and talk it up and say, he's a try-hard guy, he does everything we ask, he practices hard, but then you see the play on the field not actually go together. He had some really great games. He played well against a Bosa brother, but then you have so much other tape out there that you go, boy, that's not it.
Just inconsistent.
It's just, that's the word I'm looking for. The inconsistency, I think it worries you, it bothers you. Terrence Steele is a player that possibly could have a 10-12 NFL year career because of, there's a premium on right tackles in the league.
Sure.
But I just think the play's not matching. So I'm watching him as much as I'm watching Leal.
And I defend Terrence Steele from this standpoint, heck. Lyle Collins should have been a first-round draft pick.
Absolutely.
Most likely top 10 when you go back and you think what people were talking about him. And he was making $10 million. And you've decided to replace him with a guy who's making, maybe $500,000? So there's going to be a drop-off. You do get what you pay for undrafted free agent. And so, but Joe Philbin, the offensive line coach, and the Cowboys have said, we'd rather have this young man playing right tackle for us, and we'll deal with and help him however we see fit. Because I think in their minds, Tyron Smith is here, we can let him play, and then we'll help Steele out. But with Tyron out, now you got to go help Tyler Smith on the left side.
How they could think that with all the years of him missing these games, but that's neither here nor there.
We find ourselves in the situation we find ourselves. But that thinking, I would say, hey, look, if Tyron is here, you're putting that tight end over there. You're helping out. You're helping
sliding
out.
Sliding the line that way. Yeah.
Right. And he's playing next to Zach Martin. That's a part of the thought process that I could see. Because look, and Cowboy fans have been spoiled. How many teams have 3 first-round picks on the offensive line? Not many teams do. The Cowboys are fortunate when you talked about having, Tyron at left tackle first-round pick, Travis Frederick at center first-round pick, and having Zach Martin and then basically Lyle Collins was a first-round pick.
Hey, yeah, he was potential first-round pick. Yeah. You're right.
So you rarely see that, and even when Travis left, you were still left with basically 3 first-round guys. Yeah. There's a drop-off, but there's a lot of drop-off around the league. We saw the drop-off the Tampa Bay game. Yeah, they ended up losing their left tackle. Next thing you know, they throw Mike over there and eating like the lion. And then Tom Brady yelling at the lineman.
Wirfs is different on that other side, boy.
We're trying to get me retired, man. I got kids. My kids watching this. I'm 45, man.
Oh, man.
And so this week, Joe Burrow, here it is. They bring in Lel Collins. Hey, we've improved. I mean, that's all they've talked about since then. We've improved the line.
This revamped O-line.
7 sacks right out the gate. So there are issues everywhere. There's issues everywhere, and people are like, "Hey, I think we can we can make this adjustment here out in L.A." I mean, you saw that first game with the Rams, man. Stafford getting tagged.
He is.
Getting tagged up, man.
He is.
I was surprised he ain't tapped out. He was over there.
Von Miller looking like Micah, running past there. I mean, so there's a lot of folks with O-line issues, man. It's not perfect anywhere, and you try to plug it up as much as you can. So I'm looking for Terrence to bounce back. Mike McCarthy said that he should bounce back this week. And this is just one where you hope the pride. Looking at the tape here and trying to figure it out, but it's a challenge. Both teams have challenges on the offensive line this week, so let's see what happens here. Let's take our first break. We do need to get to predictions, okay? We need to get to predictions. Last week we were kind of a little bit here and there with the predictions last week. I mean, I'd say here or there. Some people here on the right side.
Oh, okay. Some
people here on the wrong side.
When you said we, I just thought you meant everybody.
He's speaking French.
Yeah.
We.
Who's this we you think of? I don't know.
Back on the Players Lounge right after this on DallasCowboys.com radio.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store to find out how to get one of our popular smartphones for $0 down. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2019.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Head to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, September 17th to experience Rally Day presented by SeatGeek. Get ready to cheer on the Cowboys with tours of AT&T Stadium, ticket giveaways, games, inflatables, and more. Visit attstadium.com/Rally Days for ticket sales and information. Heckma Harrison is here. Barry Church is here. I'm Newey Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos or brand Danny McCray. Have the day off, the challenge champion. He's chilling, man, doing his thing.
He's
Good
enjoying
for
that.
him.
Yeah, he's on his tour run. Or
He's
what is
out
that? The
balling.
press run. Press
Hey,
run.
cue the music.
There you go.
My man.
Oh, man. Congrats.
Jerry Jones on his show every Friday on 105.3 The Fan with the KNC Masterpiece was asked about penalties, and he said, quote, "I would have thought we would have improved from where we are. I know the point of emphasis was there throughout training camp. I know the point of emphasis is that it's done as late as last week." So this is Jerry talking about the 10 penalties. Heckma. No penalties on the defense last week. This was all offense, a lot of pre-snap penalties. How did they get this right? Because this is shooting yourself in the foot every week.
No, it did. It looked bad, and it's a repeat performance with the penalties, especially coming off the San Francisco loss. And it's like deja vu, and that's all people remember. Where you leaving the field in that playoff loss with all those penalties, you took yourself out of so many opportunities. I really didn't. I mean, the game was so bad offensively. I didn't see it the same way. I thought Terrence Steele was just, I don't know, either he didn't understand his assignment or what was going on, but that offside, the pass interference.
The hat trick?
Yes, he did it all.
He did it all.
He did it all.
Third quarter hat trick.
Hey, no stone unturned. He made sure that if I'm going to be bad, I'm going to double down on it. I'm going to get it. But look, a week of practice, if continuously see the same things, the questions are going to persist. People are going to start asking about the discipline of your team. They're going to start to question the head coach. And you see Mike McCarthy, and he's talking about, we don't coach penalties, all those things. And I mean, and he's getting to the point, you can just tell, he's getting a little pissy up there.
Yeah.
Because it's falling on him, the way that his team is performing. But, man, I don't know if you're going to get to the interview with Mike McCarthy, but there are just some things that I think, man, if I played gestures, I think he's basically saying, hey, man, this ain't on me. This ain't on me. I'm trying to do the best I can, but this ain't on me.
That ain't my call.
That ain't my call. You know what I'm saying? He trying to let y'all know without letting y'all know.
I ain't going to say no names,
but
Get it like Nino Brown on the stand. It was Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator for the Bank. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people. I got a list of names and coaches. They're not doing their job on Sundays.
Hey, that's like 48 hours in that room. In that room, he's telling on everybody. If they bought that Wendy's in there, it's over with. You know what's going to happen next.
Seen him do this. Ricky was over there. He was over there doing this.
Soon as that Wendy's come in the room, it's over with.
Yeah.
Everybody go to jail.
Everybody going down. Y'all better start running now. All right.
Jerry, you need to talk to Joe. Talk to Joe, Jerry. I told him 3 times.
Oh, my God, man.
Y'all think it's that? Like, y'all think it's the tempo at practice? Like,
brother, you the one to play.
That's what I'm saying. I can't put my hand on it. Because if you look on the defensive side of the ball, 0 penalties.
Yeah, man.
0 penalties out there. No jumping off sides, no pass interference, none of that stuff. But when you look on the offensive side, you got everything. You got offensive pass interference. You got holding, false starts, illegal formations. I mean, as a player, I'm dumbfounded. I don't know
where you with the offensive pass.
Exactly. I'm like, where do you point the finger?
He went with the mic. Yes.
It's like, are they coaching technique out there?
They have to.
They have to be, right? So I'm dumbfounded. I have no answer for this one.
And so that was why Jerry was asked that question. So yeah. It's got to get fixed. I mean, that's just one of the things where if they're going to win this game, you can't be the reason why you don't win it. You got to cut that down. This is simple.
I got to ask you this question, though. When you saw the PFF grade.
PFF?
Yeah, I'm trying to make my point here, and I want you to agree with me, so I pull out PFF. You thought you got rid of the problem, the holding penalties and all of that, at Connor Williams. And he goes to Miami, plays center, and grades out.
Top old lineman, right?
What? Wait a minute. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, honey. What do you mean he graded out top old lineman? Not our Connor. Because when he was here, all we was getting was flag.
That's it. Holding.
He
ain't got enough bricks in his pocket. It's too light.
How does that happen? What just happened?
What's going on, though? You explain this to us, man.
Hey, first off, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Connor Williams. Imagine being in your hometown for 2 years, taking abuse, his fame, people saying, you're the problem. Good for him to go down to Miami, and they win the game against the New England Patriots, and he had a good game. So congratulations to him. But it makes you ask, your thought comes into, was it coaching? Did the Cowboys not know? Hey, how's this guy now, competing at center and doing a good job? I mean, it raises questions. And I'll say this, I don't know the team, but you better believe if things don't improve to the satisfaction of Jerry Jones, he's going to ask himself the same question.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the ship's got to get turned around. I know it's just one game, and there's obviously an overreaction in Dallas-Fort Worth like no other city.
Oh, no way.
It is the Cowboys.
No way. An overreaction?
I mean, you brought it up. You going to PFF. I'm like, okay. Yeah, man.
But is it overreaction? Because this has been going on since last year. Even when we was winning 12-4, it was kind of like we still getting these penalties, but we're winning. So it kind of glossed over all that. And now it's just we're losing and getting penalties. Now it's a problem.
For me, because I just assume that everybody knows the history of the NFL and know that there are teams that have won the Super Bowl being the number one penalized team in the league. It happens. It's not like you're going to get out of this clean. It's like life. You're not going to get out alive. You're not going to get out of games with no penalty. Yes, Newey.
The Rams when they won the Super Bowl that year, they racked up a lot of penalties, but it was one of those things where you had a penalty, but next thing you know, he found Azakim.
As I say, are we as talented as the Rams?
No, I don't know. I'm not. And I know you could take that sample size. You could even go to the Baltimore that had the same. I'm not claiming that we got Ray over there. We don't have none of that. No, we have none of that. All I'm saying, we know that this team isn't good enough to overcome those. And the good teams that can overcome a holding penalty or offsides or whatever that, they have playmakers that's out there. If it's first and 15, they find a way. This team is not finding a way. And the overreaction, I believe, is coming from the running game. And when I hear Mike McCarthy talk about, look, I as a coach, I hated option routes. And players are saying, and the team is in the scheme that we have has a ton of them. He's saying, hey, look, I'm not the OC. And I obviously don't have the ability to change what the OC is doing. I can make a recommendation. Okay? Now, in my house, if we want to paint a wall, I just paint the damn wall. I don't call my mortgage holder and say, can I paint my wall? This is the predicament I believe that this man is in. He can't make the decisions that's imminently going to fall on his head. There has to be a separation in this where he can take his future into his own hands and say, look, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down like this. Because you cannot tell me you can come into the Cincinnati game and abandon the run, no matter what. Your team, Biotish, your Forniak, your rookie left tackle, that you have to give them something to go on. And it's going to have to be this running game. You got to give these guys some confidence. They cannot survive like this.
The brother's preaching. He's
good. You know what, man? It's so good. Let's just go to break on that.
Let's do it.
Let's go to break. Let that marinate.
Let that marinate. Been saying it for a while, man. Louis
finna hit me with something happened. What is coming?
Marinate. We need predictions, guys. We got to get to the predictions here.
Oh, that man pulling that check out.
Just making sure it's the right amount.
You trying to give away some more money?
Nah, I can't do that, man.
Bengals and Cowboys, we look back to our Thursday night picks as well with Heckma Harris and Barry Church on Newey Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge presented by Tostitos on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team. Get yours today in the Stadium Pro Shop or at Stetson.com.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not too...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store to find out how to get one of our popular smartphones for $0 down. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2019.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23. Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
to the Players Lounge.
Join former NFL players for the first game day minicamp presented by Invisalign. Drop the kids off at Ford Field on October 2nd. All right, that's October 2nd from 11:30 to 3:30 while you watch the Cowboys and Commanders game from your favorite restaurant at the Star District. To register your footballer for camp, visit DallasCowboys.com/academy. Players Lounge presented to you by Tostitos. Our man Heck has got one heck of a big weekend when it comes.
He's booked.
Yes, he is booked.
He's booked.
Friday night, you calling?
Tonight, I'm calling Denton Geyer and Prosper, two undefeated teams on Channel 8.
All right, with Mike Leslie. All right, good. And then Saturday night, you got
TSU, Texas Southern University, and Southern University.
Man, and that's going to be over at
Choctaw.
The old the original ballpark.
Choctaw.
Giving it 10
Don't
million
show
names.
up at that stadium. That's in Memphis.
I mean, I remember when they tried to call it Mariquest Field, and but now it's Choctaw. But anyway, across the street from the new ballpark. But
it's an awesome game.
Man, I love some HBCU football, man. I love the band. I love the vibe. It's just fun. It's just fun. And then, of course, that TSU crowd, man. I was there for I went to the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
Because one of my old high school buddies, he played over there, and so they were in the NCAA tournament. And
the basketball team is off the chain. Yeah,
man. So they were over there. I mean, they got those same. It kind of has an A&M vibe, because Texas A&M vibe, the same colors and everything, but. Michael Strahan played Texas Southern, so man.
There we go.
Yeah, so they gonna show, man. They gonna show.
Oh yeah,
man.
they bring all their Frenchie fried chicken with them, man. It's off if you ain't never had. But that's I'm bringing up old stuff. Hey, but the Ocean of Soul is amazing. But if you've never heard the Southern University, the human jukebox. Man,
never heard it. It's going down. It goes down.
It's a different. That's a different kind of band.
Man? Let's get.
That's a different kind of band.
Yeah, let me know, man.
Let's get on out there
Get your umbrella, man. Go on.
Yeah, because I can't get crispy.
Bring your fan. Bring your church fan. Bring your church fan.
The Martin Luther.
Can't get that crispiness. Well, I did just.
So anyway, man, enjoy your football weekend, man. I mean, that's good stuff right there.
Toledo versus Ohio State as well. Just gonna throw that out there.
Oof, how much they pay y'all to go get that one?
Man, I don't know how much they paid them to get that work, but I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm watching them.
What do you mean them? That's them your people.
They
all
right.
What's going on?
They all right.
That's another show.
We
need some more time.
It's a whole nother show.
Oh wow.
They all right, man.
He is in the Toledo Hall of Fame, but there's
man, there's some backlash.
Man, I understand.
We're gonna talk about this issue.
I understand.
Yeah.
Should have been drafted, but senior year,
Danny will have to what? It's a therapy session.
I walked right into that. I thought he just worded it wrong. Nope. That was on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, speaking of predictions
$40 dues.
The dues is ready, man. The dues is ready.
Speaking of predictions, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Last week.
What you got?
When it came to the Cowboys, only one of us got it right.
Yeah.
He did do that.
Barry Church went 27-20 Tampa Bay. I picked the Cowboys. Heck picked the Cowboys. D-Mac picked the Cowboys. So right now, going into this one,
1-0 right now.
You're 1-0. You're 1-0. So I text Danny. Danny McCray's out today. So Danny's going with the Bengals, 24-13.
Oh.
To win
24-13.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
No faith in Coop.
See, it's not Coop. And that's the thing I hate about this. People are going to point the finger at Coop when this is bigger than him. This is an organizational thing right now.
You know, that quarterback, that's what happens with that position.
I hear you, but as much as we love Dak Prescott, we saw he was struggling.
He was struggling as well. He was struggling.
So this is a challenge right now to try and get this thing corrected. So I just think if you want to point the finger at Coop, I just think that's asking a lot here. I'm going to go 27-10 Cincinnati.
17 points?
They scored a point. They scored a touchdown last week.
What, you don't got no faith in RD? Hold Joey B down a little bit?
Man, you can only be out there so long, bro. You only be out there so long. Now, here's but I started the show for a reason. Not having Jaron Kearse, arguably, one of your 4 most important defensive players.
Come on, man.
and you're talking about adding 2 guys who didn't have a shirt.
Come on, man. We saying Curse is the difference?
I say he's one of your 4 most important. Okay, I believe in Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is talking about the importance of J.K. all throughout training camp, and then he said he does 3 jobs.
All right.
So he's not going to be there, and you're now talking about 2 young players who didn't play last week. I think that's a challenge against a team that is better than what you faced last week.
We'll see. What you got for that?
I'm going 27 to 10. So,
hey, that's a drumming. That's like fourth quarter. Joey B gonna be chilling.
Okay, you look at me. Danny said 24-13. We're not that far off. We're not that far off.
What was saying? He gonna be chilling in the fourth. Then
I'm 27-10.
Damn, that's what I'm saying. Joey B gonna be chilling in the fourth with that one.
D-Mac is 24-13. Hey, it might be a little struggle for a minute, but they might pull away. But I have them winning. So 2 of us, half the show has Cincinnati winning. Yeah. Vegas got him as a 7.5 point.
7.5.
Okay.
In the NFL, that's wild.
7.5
on the road. So that's telling you something. I mean, they build new hotels all the time, so they kind of know what they're talking about. But hey, Church, what you got?
I'm with you, Newey. I got the Bengals winning this thing, 31-17, man. I talked a lot, but I'm right there with you. That's why I just hyping it up. I was just hyping it up.
You just ran me down.
Just hyping it up.
And you pour more juice on there.
I'm just hyping it up. I think Joey B gonna come in here looking for some, not revenge on the Cowboys, but looking to improve on what he did last week. What you got, Heck? What you got for us, big dog?
I'm looking out at the people, man. I'm just looking out at the people right now, man.
Look in the camera if you want to look at the people.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the people, man. I like that look you're giving me, New. That's that last call for alcohol look you're giving me.
That's that.
Find one, get behind one.
That's that Huntsville look.
You better act quick.
What's that last meal you want before we take you on down here to the chair? But okay.
It's a lot of splashes in the water, man. It really has been. It's a lot of people jumping ship. And, and really what I love so much about it is people can explain in detail why the Cowboys are no good. 7.5, it makes sense to me. Go run out there and make that pick. But here's the other thing that people are not pointing out.
Talk to me.
Is the fact that the team that's coming in lost at home to a Pittsburgh Steelers team that has a few guys on defense. I will remain nameless. But
few guys.
A few guys.
But like saying Michael Jackson he can dance a little bit.
No. Wait a minute. Now we don't call him. Hey, I'm just saying. But what I'm saying, that with the 7 that they gave up and the 5 turnovers that they gave up, they're still the same team. They still have those problems. Nothing improved. Nobody came back from off an injury report or none of that, right? So, Barry Church, Newey Scruggs.
And Danny McCray. Don't forget D-Mac.
And D-Mac. Cue the music. Hey.
Talking about the guest on the show?
Yeah, man. D-Mac. I'm bringing the big briefcase.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bringing the bazooka.
Okay.
I have a defensive line that I feel like they're a little pissed off at themselves because they needed to do a way better job on playoff Lenny. I have a linebacking core that knows that they have to shut this run down. And on the back half of this, you have to do something about Jamar Chase. I think I have a guy in Trayvon Diggs that has history with Jamar Chase. And so, hey, you're in a contract year as well. You better show up for this. Offensively, no one believes in Kellen Moore, but I believe that Kellen Moore, sitting right across over there, knows that he has one responsibility this week.
Yeah.
And that's to run the ball. Run the ball. Taking the Cowboys 21-20 in this game. I am not a turncoat. Do you understand me? When the chips are down, I ain't gonna run from you, baby. I'm gonna be right there. That's just in me. Okay? And a lot of people, I'm gonna tell you, Monday afternoon, we come in here. Y'all make sure y'all have that same energy, okay? Noah, you give me that last call for alcohol look.
Slight cheese.
I want that last call for alcohol. Find one, get behind one look that you just gave me when we come in here on Monday, okay? Because the Cowboys win.
They're gonna win it. They're gonna win this game.
Hold on, man. And Chris, Look, man, because I didn't do it last week, and this is something I've been doing every Friday on shows that I've been doing. Man, y'all got to turn y'all mics down, put your hands over your ears, because I got to yell
ready
this
for
out.
this, but hold on a second. Let him finish off the show, then you can do it.
You got 1 minute.
Let him finish off the show.
Okay.
Yeah, let him finish that shit right
My
here.
bad. My bad. I'm waiting.
I've already set him up for this.
Oh, you set him up for it?
I'm ready. Don't worry. We got you. Thursday Night Football. Church. You had Kansas City winning 34-31. Heck, you had KC winning 28-17. D-Mac had KC by 4. He didn't give us a score. I had Kansas City 31-30. KC wins 27-24. So now for Thursday Night Football for the season, you're 1-1. Church, you're 2-0. D-Mac's 2-0. I'm 2-0. So, all right, just want to make sure we get that out there.
It's a good start.
So we shall talk.
He's gonna slip up.
We shall talk on Monday. Heck,
It ain't going on. Nostradamus. Three of us are picking the Bengals. Heckma Harrison's going 21-20.
Solo dolo.
Cowboys win. How do you take us out here for the show? Take us out, baby. Take us out.
Take your thing out, man. It's gonna hurt a little bit. Cowboy Nation, I hope your team win.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!